In Australia, business is generally fairly cautious on sentiment around economic recovery at the moment, given the current pandemic situation. There are pockets of optimism in our economy in particular sectors, notably, I guess, in food and agriculture, where we've seen significant demand for our product, particularly in the export markets. Many of our clients sort of gearing up their capacity in Australia to be able to export significantly increased volumes in line with that increased demand that we're seeing. Our volumes and prices in our energy and resource exports have generally held up pretty well through the course of the pandemic. And we're seeing a number of new challenges in financial services markets, a number of neobanks and alternative lenders entering the market to take business share, I guess, off our traditional banks. In terms of changes for workplaces, we think there'll be an ongoing increased demand to work from home in business, and a mix between people working from home and working in the office going forward into the foreseeable future. Increased client and team interaction and business development activity using electronic means, video conferencing, webinars, etc. And I guess a shift away from shared workplaces and hot desking as a natural outcome. What does trade opening up mean for Australia? Well, Australia's always been a significant trading nation. We're said to, in traditional times, have ridden on the sheep's back, and following I guess from around the turn of the century, we've seen a significant resource and energy boom in Australia, largely driven by the significant global economic rise of China over the course of the last 20 years. And that rapid growth continues today. We've seen an increase in demand for our service exports, notably in tourism and education. And I guess the rising wealth in Asia, and in particular in markets like China, has seen significant demand for safe, high quality food and agricultural produce from Australia. Australia's a significant exporter of food and soft commodities, with around 60% of what we produce being sent to export markets. So all in all, open trade is always good news for Australia. In terms of the opportunities that we see going forward, like I said, many challenges to traditional incumbents in our financial services market. Tourism and education, we see rebounding probably pretty strongly once the pandemic is over, given perceptions of Australia as a safe environment to visit and a naturally beautiful country. And also given the way that Australia has managed the pandemic situation, we think that'll be good news for those sectors going forward. In terms of other opportunities, probably significant opportunities around digital commerce adoption, a shift, I guess, like in many places in the world, to more online shopping. Like I said, more use of electronic means in commerce, in business, and less physical travel, I guess. In terms of innovation occurring in Australia, a lot of that going on with our neobanks and alternative lenders who are using new credit scoring mechanisms and lending mechanisms to be far faster to market than the incumbents and be able to turn around loan applications and loan funding in very quick timeframes. We've seen a lot of automation in mining activity in Australia, more use of driverless trains, driverless trucks, etc. And we think that'll continue. A significant increase in online education delivery, and a significant push for more renewable energy in Australia. Things like virtual energy networks, virtual power plants, smart technology significantly decreasing energy costs for business through use of those mechanisms. So while I guess there's some economic headwinds expected as government incentives are wound back later in the year, we think there's a number of sectors where there's cause for optimism and economic activity and opportunity going forward.